All right, the Reds, it's Talking Reds. Gareth Roberts, Craig Hannan. I read the stats today. Oh boy, Liverpool have just won the league again. I mean, it's just mad. Every Monday is mad, isn't it? In a good way, because every Monday something else comes out about Liverpool being the best at something. Walshy's put something on the Anfield app's Twitter this morning, which just caught my eye before we're about to start. And it is wild. Liverpool's last 38 league games, played 38, won 35, drawn 3, lost 0. 108 points, with 25 points clear at the top of the Premier League. I mean, you can't say these things enough. It's absolutely bananas, and it's boss. And it just feels like every game you go to, we've won the league again. You know, coming out of Norwich on Saturday, everyone was absolutely bouncing, everyone was partying, and it's just boss. I mean, look, there's every chance that we don't have like this big let-off moment. You know, we're not going to have the Aguero like type of league win, but I'm absolutely fine that we just stroll it. It's an absolute possession, and we're just trying to work out what week we win it on. That's all right by me, mate. I've
made my peace with that. Really, I'm okay with that. I think we've had massive moments throughout the whole of the season. You know, beating City, the last minute winner at Villa, 2 late goals in that game. Actually, we were both at that, and it was incredible. You know, the let off for Salah's goal. There's been loads of them. The late goal at Palace, blah blah blah. We've had loads of them throughout this season, and
now Norwich.
And now Norwich. I think it's with each game that you go to, and as soon as Liverpool score, like the end is the let off, and the end is this. It's what you said just off camera there. It's this party. It's this rather than. Because you don't have that nervousness. This is the strange thing. We've waited so long for a league title, and the way I sort of envisaged it happening was, you know, each week, a bit like last season, where it was nervous and everything was on the line. It was stressful, and a lot of it wasn't that enjoyable. Like if you think back to last season, it was just like there was just too much of it that wasn't overly enjoyable. Now we get a little bit of a procession and a party and like a carnival atmosphere at the end of each game. I'm absolutely fine with it, because I think we're going to have some huge moments in the Champions League this season. I think we're still in the FA Cup, and there's going to be big moments in that as well. Like it's funny. I've been thinking about the game tomorrow night, and I'm so much more excited about it than I was for the same round last season, the Bayern game, because I remember last season we were sort of saying, oh, it's, you know, the Champions League, it's like a bit of a relief from the stresses of this league campaign. Well, this year it feels like the complete opposite, but I'm more excited. I'm more excited about you know, the possibility of winning it again. I'm excited about games that like are a bit on a knife edge, and you don't know what's going to happen, and like, you know, will we beat them or do we just get the draw, and then it's all on the home leg. Like that's exciting in itself, isn't it? Absolutely. I just think there's going to be big moments. It's
going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Before we carry on, just wanted to say that, you know, today's Talking Reds is, as usual, on a Monday, brought to you in association with Luke 1977. You make lots of lovely clobber, including this top, which is called the Dalglish. It's fantastic. Go and have a look at their website. Go and get the money off that we've negotiated with them if you follow us at the Anfield app. It's 15% off using the code that should be on the screen, Jordan sort that bit. It'll be in the description as well. And if you want 20% off the full price gear at luke1977.com, then go to our Facebook subscribers group. Look for the post that I put in there. You can get 20% off if you are a subscriber to the Anfield app. Loads of good clobber on there as well. They've just brought out a new collection of stuff, so go and have a look. What you said there, at Norwich, I thought, you know, we're driving down there. It's a long drive, like an early start and all that. And obviously all the way down, like, we're getting these weather warnings, and like you can see tweets about, oh, don't know whether the game's going to be on, and it's like, really hope the game is on. This is long. This is an absolute trek for me to get there, and you go, it's off. And like the wind had really picked up around the time of kick-off, and you could see it, like, because, you know, like, you can see the rain against the floodlights, and you could see it sort of swirling. And I think it did have an influence on the game for both sides, obviously. But I found, I mean, I'm obviously biased, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I found reading some of the reports yesterday a little bit bizarre. I thought it was a little bit overplayed about Liverpool being bad, in quotation marks, because I thought, you know, first half, Liverpool absolutely control it. Norwich City and it was about whether Liverpool could score. And obviously they get the one chance. Alisson's absolutely brilliant. Alisson's decisive. Comes out, he scoops it away with his big massive hand.
It's incredible that, by the way.
It was superb, the timing of it. I mean, we were talking about it in the ground, and we were saying, like, you know, like we've watched past keepers, Mignolet, Karius, other keepers, where you can almost see or sense the panic in the way they play football. Whereas Alisson, it's the complete opposite. Like, he couldn't back himself more, could he? And you look at that, and I'm no goalkeeper and never have been, and I'm not one of these who analyses it to the nth degree. But I mean, I'm just looking at it going, he's come out there and he's just gone, I'm waiting, I'm not going down, I'm not committing, I'm not giving you the penalty. And then you're just seeing that little chink, that moment, that perfect moment, boom, see you later, and you haven't got a chance. And he's absolutely superb, and you know, his distribution as well was brilliant. So Hendo's playing some fantastic balls there. And the thing was, they just kept going, they kept knocking, and you said before, like, you almost trust them now to do it. And they kept going. Norwich played all right as well, by the way, you know, considering the 50-odd points behind Liverpool and bottom of the league. You know, they look decent, they've got some decent players there. But I never once thought, there was a bit where I thought this could be heading for a draw, but I never once thought Liverpool were getting beat. And then, you know, he breaks glass, brings Sadio on, and as soon as Sadio came on the pitch, like, you could see the intensity increase. And what a goal, mate. I mean, like, you know, that first touch is unbelievable. He's basically like, you know, we've got Street Fighter in the background over there that anyone who's in this building can come in and play. He like did a move off Street Fighter, caught the ball on the end of his foot.
It's a proper computer game touch, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the kind that,
And
like,
then
happens in FIFA.
Berry's-
Happens in FIFA. You bring it down and hit it, and it's a goal, and you think nothing of it because it's a PlayStation game. And then you watch it in real life, and you watch it in slow motion. The way he jumps for the ball, but he's like turning as he brings it down. But to be able to bring it down, most players try and take a touch there, or try and like hold off the defender, whatever. He just turns and booms it. Like, even the finish is almost as good as the touch, and the touch is just 10 out of 10 football, isn't it? And I think you're right on Alisson. I think, like, that calmness and assuredness and confidence in everything that he does is almost a catalyst for everything good that happens in front of him. So, you know, the defenders. Van Dijk's a £75 million defender, and Joe Gomez is one of the best, if not the best, young defender in the league. But they know that they've got this keeper behind them, that if they do make a mistake, they can rely on their mate. And it feels like they've got that all over the pitch. But with Alisson especially, like in that second half, when Liverpool were in search of a goal, you saw how high both our fullbacks up. Now, they're always high, but how high up Van Dijk and Gomez were. They were in Norwich's half by about 10 yards, and they can do that because Alisson just patrols his whole half. He has that confidence. Imagine having Mignolet in there and then Norwich break. It's not happening because there's just this huge gap. You can't play like that. And even little bits, like I say little bits, it's little bits because we take it for granted, but there was one where he catches it under pressure, and then he's released. Yeah, he's released for Firmino. Firmino. There we go. Got there in the end. And that was Firmino. And that was like, it's something that we take for granted as a keeper, but we do it because, you know, he's doing that every single week. And I think you're right. I sort of, like, even 70 minutes in when we're sort of bringing Mane on, I just felt like we were going to score because it's just what we do. Like, that's just what Liverpool do, even whenever it looks a bit difficult or the weather's difficult, because, like, we've heard Jurgen Klopp talk about the weather in the past, and usually it's after...
What did we call it the other day? Storm Desmond?
No, I called it Desmond and you called it Derek.
What was it called? Dave?
Yeah, something like Storm David.
Whatever it was, like, all the best, like, you were shite. You couldn't stop them. You couldn't stop the mighty Reds. You had to go. You tried to blow us off course, and the Reds brought the lightning and put it in the fucking Norwich net. Boom! Come on. It was. I mean, I just want to say quickly as well. I just think, like, we've almost got like this virtuous circle where every time we win, the players' confidence goes up even more, and that means they're even harder to beat, and they trust the system, and they keep on getting better and better. And, like, you know, the party tricks that you keep seeing, even in those conditions, I mean, that pass that Firmino does is wild.
He had a lot of fun throughout the game.
He's loving it, wasn't
it was as if he's, like, walked out, and it's just like, he loves a bit of madness, doesn't he? And he's just walked out and he's looked at the weather and he's thought, this weather's mad, I'm just going to have a bit of fun here. Like, that it was proper, like, Brazilian futsal, like, samba football, wasn't it? Just, like, the way he, like, drags it back. He's not even looking either.
No.
And there was a couple of instances of that where, like, he was in and out of the game, but, like, little touches and stuff, you know, from him were were excellent. But I think you're right, that builds on their own confidence, but it also plays into the psyche of the opposition, because Norwich the whole way in that sort of last 20 are thinking, oh, they do this, don't they? It's Liverpool always find a way to win, and that, I think that's the most impressive thing about this Liverpool side, is that they're just like, they're 25 points clear, but they're still so they've got it in their heads that they want to break every single record that's going possible. Like every week it feels like Sky Sports put up a new one saying like, this Liverpool side have done this, but it feels like they're not stopping at where they are at. They're not sort of like, we're happy that we're going to finally win a league. We're going to be the first Liverpool team to do it in 30 years. Want to win the Champions League, want to win the FA Cup, want to go unbeaten. Want to break every single record on the way to doing that. And fucking hell, I just wouldn't put it past them.
It's brilliant. It's a brilliant time to be a Red. It's a brilliant time to get involved with the Anfield app subscription stuff as well. Videos and podcasts before and after the match, analysing what goes on as well with a qualified coach. Loads and loads of stuff, special interviews, the lot. There's loads on there. And here is a clip from our post-match video, the post-match pint.
When we were watching the game, there was a point when you think, well, am I going to have to come to an accommodation with us drawing a game here?
Yeah.
And then Mane scores, and it's. But we literally haven't had that once this season, because possibly Leicester at home, I think, was one where we leave it late. Wolves is one where we leave it late, but you just know that Liverpool are going to find a way, and I think that it transmits itself from the players to the team to the backroom staff, and Liverpool are just an impossible force to deal with, and because there haven't been many 5s and 6s and 7s, maybe it's not always felt like Liverpool are destroying teams. But I mean, even today, Liverpool just rendered Norwich completely unable to even lay a glove on them. And there's not a point really when Norwich have even a flurry of a chance while playing quite well. And I think that's the main thing. While playing quite well, team after team after team, from Sheffield United to Wolves to anyone you want to name, have come up against this Liverpool side and found themselves wanting. And this entire league, it's ridiculous. And we're about to overtake in the next couple of games lots and lots of really good seasons. Season that me and you would look back to. Craig's a few years younger than us. But seasons that we would look back to one day. In the sort of early 2000s, when Liverpool felt like title challengers. And we're about to overtake what those teams did in their entire seasons.
Yeah.
And there's, I think it's Andrew Beasley, forever the font of great stats on Liverpool, said that we are. I think there's 5 teams now who could theoretically, if Liverpool gave up and declared, finish above Liverpool, and that's it. Which is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Crazy to be at this stage of the season where Manchester United are one of them that can't finish above Liverpool now. And what is it, February? not even late February.
Okay, that was the post-match pint. The second look is already out there. We'll shortly be recording the preview show for the Atletico game. And yeah, that's the next thing to talk about, isn't it? Is that we are back in Champions League action. We are defending our crown. We are going back to the scene of the crime, if you like, where we robbed Tottenham Hotspur of their chance of winning the European Cup. And we won our 6th European Cup. Great days. This is going to be no easy task, though. I mean, I've seen some people saying, Atletico aren't quite what they were, and they've had a lot of injuries and things like that. But you look at their record in Europe, particularly at home. I think they're unbeaten at home under Simeone. So you sort of feel like, obviously something's got to give, because Klopp's got this record of being unbeaten in two-legged ties in Europe. I think for me, one of the things that's telling, they are quite a way off the pace in La Liga. They drew at the weekend. But one of the things that's telling for me is just that, Liverpool are so good in Europe, and I just think, us going away first is massive, because you kind of think from Atletico's point of view, they're normally dogged, they normally fight, they're normally quite defensive when, we've only played a handful of games against them in the past, but they are quite defensive. I wonder whether they get caught between two stools, because they can't be too defensive. You can't, in your home leg, not have any ambition to score a goal.
Yeah.
And if they come to Anfield, 0-0 will be absolutely fine for the Reds.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
You bring them back to Anfield, it being 0-0, and you're like, I'm all right with that. So I wonder whether they get tempted out a little bit, and then Liverpool get that space behind.
Yeah, going down sort of past years, you think about how maybe 10 years ago Liverpool would have, thought about what a good a good result is in this tie, and you would have said, yeah, go away, get the draw, maybe try and get an away goal if you can, and then bring them back to Anfield. And that's just not the kind of thing that Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool side have done at any stage over the past few years. I think in sort of, usually you'd have looked at this tie and said that this is the worst possible opponent in the way that they play and how defensive they are and how hard they are to break down. But they just look like, you go through the results and it's a bit dire, to be honest, for Simeone's Atletico, because you think about them as being, what they have been under him throughout his time there, and they're just way off it. They're really, really struggling to score.
Yeah.
And
they're not conceding many though as well.
But it's the results. It's like defeat, draw, draw. It's just poor. And like, I'd expect Liverpool to go in there and try and get the away goals and sort of break them down fairly quickly, or try to at least. I think the weekend will be good preparation. I think that the fact that comes after the break that they've had, and Jurgen Klopp talks about momentum and sort of trying to build that, I think getting the late goal there really helps going into this tie. But it will be difficult, and it's a difficult tie for them. But like you say, it's one of them where if you come out with a draw, you're laughing. If you can nick an away goal, you're laughing. And again, I just wouldn't put it past this Liverpool side getting more than one goal.
I want to try and check the stat now, because I'm doubting myself what it was. This was it. Yeah, obviously as well, they've been in 2 Champions League finals. They've won the Europa League. This is it. They've never lost at home in the Champions League knockout stages, because obviously someone was about to put in the comments and go, well, what about? So yeah, in the Champions League knockout phases, it's 1-8, drawn 4 for Atletico, and in those 12 games they've only conceded 2 goals.
I think they got knocked out of the group stage last year, didn't they? I'm fairly certain about that. Jurgen Klopp hasn't been knocked out as Liverpool manager, has he? In his what, three years in Europe, gets to the final every single time. So this Liverpool side will find a way. I wouldn't put it past them to beat them in the knockouts, and then that's another record ticked off.
It's just as well, there seems to be almost like a fairy tale thread through all this as well. The fact that we're going back to the season of where we won number 6, the fact that the final is in the Atatürk where we won number 5. You know what I mean? We must really piss everyone off, because we're obviously very romantic and we never shut up about loving our club. And then you get all these little things like that. I love all those things, those little mad things. And meanwhile, of course, we haven't even mentioned it. Meanwhile, of course, looks like the Manx won't be, well, City. The Manx are still Man United to me. City won't be in the Champions League. Have you seen the little fella with his ukulele, and he's wrote a song about it all?
No.
It's good, it's on Twitter, I liked it. I can't remember all the words, but there's a bit where he's basically saying, you should be in Europe, these are the teams you dream of playing, but for the next couple of years, the only way you're playing them is on your PS2. But I mean, it's absolutely huge, isn't it? What's happened to City? I mean, it's massive that they've come out and said, you're banned for two seasons in the Champions League. They're obviously going to appeal. They've made that clear. They think they've got the best lawyers in the world, and it's a bit mad. I was looking at it on social media, looking at what City fans were saying, and football fans are talking about legal teams. Where's footy gone that you're talking about legal teams? Remember when we used to talk about strikers and midfielders and centre halves and signing a player who'd had a bit of steel in midfield, and now it's like, we've got boss lawyers, us lad. Should see the fucking shoots they wear, lad. Fucking. And it's all gone a bit mad when they just think they can throw money at rules and break league rules, and it's sound because they'll get round them somehow because a court somewhere will support them. I mean, fuck me, it's a little bit wild, but it's funny, isn't it?
There's a Liverpool fan somewhere sold a soul to the devil for this season, isn't there? Someone's rubbed the genie's lamp or whatever, and because, yeah, potentially. It's a mad thing. I did not expect, and you heard sort of you've heard things coming out from different journalists about this and about different things that City have done, and I just didn't expect it to be that severe, really. Now the interesting thing is City's response seems very confident that that they'll be able to overturn it. I think it now goes to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, isn't
Yeah.
that right?
That's it.
So that'll be interesting. I think if they end up being banned and it's withheld, it's huge in terms of in terms of what it does to that club, because I think I saw somewhere that they would need to raise 100 million each season to be able to keep the players that they have. Now, those players won't want to stay because they want Champions League, and if if they're not able to improve the squad, and they're going to have to sell some assets, and I know it sounds weird calling footballers assets, but in this instance you have to, because they're going to need to raise money from somewhere. The sort of the effect that has on their plans going forward, on Guardiola, on players like De Bruyne, Sterling, and the effect that it has on their rivals and their rivals in the league, which at the moment is us, really, could be huge. It's a laugh, really. I enjoyed reading what the MEN had to say about it and what certain people at the MEN didn't have to say about it. I'm just going to sit back and wait for the cast to have a little look at it and hopefully, uphold it, and then we're fucking laughing.
Pray for Stu. That has been Talking Reds. Loads of stuff on the Anfield app today and tomorrow and right through the week, previewing and reviewing the Atletico game. Looking forward to the league games as well, of course, when we can win the league again. Fantastic time to be a Red. Up the fucking Reds.